Yo, what's up guys? In this week's video, I'm going to make this awesome little monster house. I'm Imagine, Create, Destroy, and let's get started. This build is inspired by that old Monster House movie. Shocker, right? Whoa, how'd that get in there? We'll go ahead and get set up, put my snack to the side. While I do get set up, get my entertainment going to keep me occupied while I do this build. Give y'all a little entertainment in the form of a nice little story I wrote for this build. They said the house was abandoned. But when Mara stepped close, it breathed. It sat at the edge of the woods, half sunken into an earth, like it was trying to crawl back into the grave. The walls bulged unnaturally, like something was pressing from the inside. Something alive. Its windows were shattered, but stretched, warped into narrow slits like half-lidded eyes, watching, waiting. The front door stood open, not like an invitation, but like a mouth. Its frame bent into a jagged grin, with splinters for teeth and tar dripping from the top like drool. It moaned in the wind. Mara had only wandered off the trail for a few minutes. The sun was still up, but the light didn't touch the clearing. The air here was thick, heavy. Even the birds refused to sing. Her flashlight flickered, even though it wasn't on. That's when the whispering started. It wasn't voices, more like memories pressed against the back of her eyes. She saw flashes, a boy locked in the attic that never stayed in one place, a woman whose feet grew roots through the floorboards, a baby's cries echoing from the walls long after the baby was gone. The house had eaten them. It wasn't like this. It used to be normal. Wood, brick, family and warmth, but something moved in, something old, something hollow. It liked how people screamed when it closed its doors behind them. It liked how hearts beat faster when the windows pulsed shut. The family had tried to leave once. Their bones were still inside the walls. Now, it was hungry again. Mara tried to turn around, but the path behind her was gone. Trees pressed in, bending away from the house like they feared it too. The ground beneath her feet felt spongy, warm. She looked down. The grass was gone. She was standing on bloody skin. Then, the front door yawned wider, something behind her, the woods whispering a warning she didn't understand, but the house did, and it smiled. Alrighty, now that we're done with the story, we can go ahead and move on to finishing up this build. I'm going to finish framing the house here, giving it some much needed depth. We'll go ahead and use some coffee stirring sticks as the window slats. I feel like this building's really starting to come together. We'll add some stones to the archway of the door, and then for the teeth I broke up some coffee stirring sticks as well and just stuck those into place with some super glue. After that we can move up top, start framing out the windows that are going to form the eyes for this monster house. I really wanted to give the illusion like there was nothing behind the eyes and the mouth, so we'll just cut them out and then I'll just paint the inside of the house black so it gives that dark, deep depth illusion. Then we'll use some more coffee stirring sticks to give this thing a nice mean scowl, the same look my mom used to give me when I did something stupid as a kid. We'll set the model to the side for now and get to work on the shingles. I'm going to cut out some strips of cardstock here, and then we'll cut smaller little strips down the entire thing. I'm going to go ahead and fold those out to give it a little bit more depth, then we'll flatten it back so it's not as folded out. Complicated, I know. Then we'll just go ahead and super glue those up to the top of the model. Now that we've finished up with all the nice detailery and such, go ahead and move on to priming the whole thing black. I'm going to do this by hand just because I don't want to melt the foam on that chimney there. Then after that we can start slapping on the base coats. I want to keep this thing nice and dark and dingy, so I picked a dark green, I guess like sea green, and then a dark brown for the wood. We're going to dry brush this in a later step, give it a little more detail. Then after that we'll hit the chimney with a tan, and we'll use a teddy bear tan or teddy bear brown, I can't remember, and a medium gray to highlight specific stones, just to add a little bit more depth. Once we're done highlighting those stones, I'm going to move on to dry brushing. We'll start with the Baylor brown for the wood. Then I'm going to follow up with the screaming skull just to give it a further until I messed up there. But it's 3 in the morning and I need to get this video done for tomorrow, so I'm going to leave it in. After I dry brush the wood, I dry brush the stones with a suede and a white. Then we'll follow up with a black wash and we'll splash on a brown wash for a little extra grime. Because what's a scary man-eating monster house without it being a little dirty and dingy? While those nice washes dry, we'll set that to the side and get to work on the base. While that dries, I'll start with this nice desert sands texture paste. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Put a nice thick layer, then I'll sprinkle on some desert sands that I totally forgot to hit record while I was doing. And we'll let that fully dry before I move on to painting. Painting simple, do a nice thick layer of Adrax Earthshade. I really like this because it still lets some of the desert sands peek through and gives a nice color variation. Then we'll dry brush on an off-white and heavily dry brush in a little path here. We'll use a nice little assortment of shrubs here. Don't be scared with this, it adds a nice little depth and I really like the look it gives. Lastly, I'm going to paint the sides with a black 4.0. And while I do that, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you want to support the channel, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. Anyway, I'll catch you all in the next one. Now let's roll the beauties. Peace.